I've been praying.
Praying and act on it, and it just boom.
Well, of course, because that's a prayer without works, or faith without works is dead. So,
Yeah,
or if you pray, you need to be doing something too to
yeah,
activate
yeah.
that answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've heard the song, man. Yeah, I've heard the song.
And
And on that note, we can say that, we can talk about many beautiful young women out there who are
you have to be a part
independent.
of your blessing. You can talk about what?
No, as I said, on that note, we want to talk about many independent, beautiful young women out there
Okay.
who, yes, who may have been praying for a partner, praying for their dream man. They maybe have this fairy tale image from there was a child, getting married, whatsoever it is, whether
Yeah.
getting married or not, but having that person in their life and make them feel complete. Because
Perfect.
I can tell persons first and foremost, yeah, as a man, I'm complete, but me need a woman in my life from time to time to start to get that completion there. To remind me say I'm complete. If me I go there upon earth and me not have that connection there, to remind me say I'm complete, it don't make sense. You understand? And I
Okay.
think that's how the creator created. And I would presume it would be the same thing for all the women out there who want to feel complete. But
Of
the
course.
challenge but the challenge
Because
is this.
we're all made up with that, whatever it is, that's that indwelling thing for us wanting a partner.
Without a
That's
doubt,
made.
and it is all natural because there is no man that can start to bring an offspring by himself. And there is no
Certainly
woman
not.
who can bring an offspring by herself. So it is by the design
Design.
of
Exactly.
nature
Yeah.
that in some way we are like halves and we have to come together to start to have that fullness. And there is a desire for that and there is a need for that. And the
Of
point is
course.
this: we have many young women who are
And men.
independent, beautiful, looking
And
for
men.
somebody. They
Yeah.
are available. They just now find the right person. What is happening? Why
But
many of these young
it's
women
not only
are
young
sleeping
women.
with teddy bears at night time?
It's not only young women. You don't think that men are on in search too. You don't think that men, handsome men, good men, they don't have to be handsome, but they're good men, hardworking, professional men, or they're also looking for somebody. But before you go there, so you
Yes.
were saying that I heard you said that um, it's a part of us to want somebody, to want a partner, but we're not the only one that realized that. God realized that from the beginning. Remember when Adam was in the garden? I think Adam didn't know that he was alone. Adam was
Better
quite,
him never know because if he didn't know someone
he
was
was
alone, that would
quite
have been a big
comfortable.
torment. You know what I mean?
Exactly. He would have been torment. He would feel this a spirit of torment over him. But meeting Adam was quite comfortable, naming the animals, tending to the garden, and God realized that he was alone and he needed a woman in his life. So I guess it's that nature. It's our nature if we're alone to want to feel like I need somebody.
Yes. I like
Doesn't
it.
mean that we can't find the right person. I don't know. I mean, people are having problems finding the right person.
Yes.
What could be the reason?
Well, I like how you started off with that story,
Yeah,
fitted in nicely with the Genesis story in the beginning,
yeah. In
because
the
it
beginning,
sets it up nicely in terms of where we are as a people and where we want to
exactly.
go, and in terms of the feeling. And you mentioned about, it's not only beautiful, independent women find themselves in that situation. Many young
Yeah,
men find themselves in that situation as well. I actually pointed out women because
yeah,
more women seem, to be in that sort of situation than men. Maybe there are more women out there more women out there in the society, or more men don't complain about it when they find themselves in that situation. Or but many young women, I met a lot of young women and them say them single. And me
yeah.
tell them lies I'm single too because you them beautiful, yeah. And very soon them start to check out my background. How you say you're single, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They scrutinize me. But sometimes I am in transition. You understand what I mean? So I'm
Yeah.
not single because as a natural man, let me tell you something. One of the worst thing, for anybody, me I talk about for me, for start have to say me single for like 3 months and 6 months. You can't function. It's like one of your wheel drop off. So you see, if you have a relationship and it's not going good and you want
Yeah.
to out of the relationship, there's something you stay in it because you start I like the wheel I get grease, if you know what I mean. And you just
Yeah.
roll along, but you want to hop out of it. And so sometimes you tell a lie, say you're single, because as soon as you find something better to jump on, you jump on it. And
Yeah,
that's...
but is it that men are hard? Is it that men are so hard to satisfy? Like, it doesn't matter how the woman is beautiful, educated, she is all that he's looking for, but yet still he's always looking.
Let me
You
tell you
know?
something. It
And
goes both way, both ways.
men are, I find that, hold on, you said something earlier about you being you being in a well, you wanting a you see that the woman is beautiful and telling her that you are single because you want to be with her, right? But I find that a lot of women question men when a man is looking really good and he's single. Women feel that, how is it that you're all that, you're attractive, like I find you attractive, so obviously you should not be single.
Yeah.
You
Well,
should be taken, like you should not be out in the street searching.
because in this world, many a times lies work. We have all been
But why
socialized
but why
to
we need to
to
tell
to,
lie?
to tell
Why
lie.
men
But we no,
men
all right. You ask
why
me,
men tell
why tell
lie?
lie? Why tell a lie?
Fine.
Why tell a
Yeah,
lie?
why tell a lie? Why tell a lie?
Because
Where's the lie
sometimes...
going to do?
let me just put the disclaimer in, so everybody knows that
Okay.
there's a brand me as lie at pan or something. Yeah? But I think that honesty is the best policy. I hold that virtue very, very true. Yes.
Okay.
And persons who are honest with me, even when the feedback is not what I want,
Mm-hmm.
I respect that. And many a times I am honest with persons, and I want to be honest.
Yeah.
But the reality exists is that sometimes when you're honest, it's like some persons don't know how to accept...
Embrace honesty or accept
Yes,
honesty.
they don't know how to accept the honesty and work along with it. And when they hear certain honest reality, it's like them shut down everything. It's like the
Problem.
conversation close.
Okay.
And sometimes you don't want to close the conversation before it gets started. So you sort of build a bridge with a lie, and then going down the road, they tell the truth and said, I tell you a lie, and I really like you and respect you, but the reason why I told you that lie, because I know the conversation would have been shut down. I told you a lie, and now
You
we're
think
at
it could
this
have
point in
ended
time.
before it
I want to
started?
tell you the truth. Yeah.
Okay, so the lie is like a little trap to get the person in. So once you
I
get them
wouldn't say a trap,
in,
but I would use traps are so
yeah,
drastic,
it's
man.
a trap. It is a trap because if you're
Okay.
going to tell a woman a lie so that you can get her attention, it's a trap. A lie is always a trap.
Well, I will work with that. I will work with that.
Let her work. Let
And
her
then
work.
again, I think that, if a person sort of tell me a lie sometimes, and it's a trap which lead to a good place with certain good
And then they
intentions,
tell you the truth later on.
and then tell me the truth later on, then I wouldn't be offended, because I would see it as reasonable and understanding. I would see it as reasonable. But that's just me.
But would you not be breaking the trust in the beginning though?
I would
You
not
don't
say
think you're
that.
breaking the trust because I mean if you start if it is that you see me and you like me and you feel like you need to tell me a lie to get my attention, and then later on you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to be so open and honest now because honesty is the best policy, right? But for me in the beginning, I'm saying you started with a lie. So how is it that, how am I going to know that whatever it is that you're telling me going onward is the truth? How am I going to know that
Yeah,
when when you're
it
preaching that honesty is the best policy?
it is going to pose a challenge. It's going
Yeah,
to pose a
you'll
challenge.
have to work hard. You'll have to
You have
work
to work
hard.
harder. You have to...
Convince me going forward.
Exactly. So if you really tell a lie, it's like you have set yourself back, and then you have
Yeah.
to work double hard than how you'd have to work to sort of earn that trust. And I think that it
Okay.
is possible to earn that trust based upon the
All
work
right.
that...
Commercial break. It was a
Commercial break,
commercial
man.
for
Yeah, man. Commercial
connectivity.
break. Yeah, people run go eat
Commercial.
them pizza and them thing and come back. Yeah, so these are some real issues that persons have to grapple with. You talk about the point of trust, and many persons seeing that starting off
And
a
that is a very
relationship.
important criteria in a relationship, by the way, may I say.
Yes, yes. But the thing is this, when it comes on to trust, which we as people just need to be more open. I think that many of us have the expectation to say that if we're going to get something good,
Yeah.
it is going to be perfect. It's going to be trustworthy from the beginning. There will be no lies. It's just going to be, it's just going to roll off the block good.
And
And
be
we should
seamless.
Yes, it's gonna roll out the block in a very, very seamless way. And
Yeah.
we should remember that the world that we live in is a natural world. It can be complicated depending from the perspective that you're looking at it from. And
Yes.
sometimes the best relationships start off in just the worst ways,
Start off rough and then it get better.
and then it get better.
Yeah.
So sometimes when we start to have this expectation to say, if I meet a man or a woman and they tell me a lie or deceive me at first or something, it's a red flag. It is not necessarily so. I think we should have that level of openness and trust and just see where it goes, because sometimes this beauty just open up that we have never seen on both sides, and it just worked perfectly. And I'm sure many persons out there who have wonderful, trustworthy, beautiful relationship can tell you how their relationship start in the worst of ways.
Start rocky. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Some of the rockiest starts end up being beautiful,
Yes.
onwards. So yeah,
Yes.
our
Yes.
relationships are not perfect. So we ought not to be looking for the perfect relationship, because we're going to end up deceiving ourselves.
Yes. Because, like, for instance, many women, one of the biggest thing in our society, like person saying, if a woman is with a married man, mean that she's on the side with a married man. She know the man is married, go home to him wife, she's with him. That is just so bad. Which, yes, it is bad, but according to our social
I
conventional
mean,
rules.
no, yeah.
However,
So I don't know why you want. I don't know why
hold
you want
on,
to split it up. All right,
hold
I'm
on. But
listening. I'm listening.
we all know that many women start out with a married man, and then she and that married man become married and settled, and that relationship is perfect between them. And person was saying, wait, he was married before, he left his wife to be with you, he's going to do the same thing that he has done with his wife.
Well, not
So
necessarily.
they have created this construct, and many a times it does not necessarily go that way.
Well, that's true.
um and that's one of the toughest one. Person say, I'm an independent, beautiful woman, why am I hanging out with a married man? It is possible. Sometimes a man is married and he's in a relationship that he's never wanted to be in from the first place, and he just wants to
You
get
know
out.
what?
And it is
That's
a complicated business. The
Yeah,
natural
but
world is complicated.
it's complicated. But you know what? I would not advise a man or a woman to inject themselves into something that has already been established. Like a foundation is already built. Why am I going to inject myself into something that has already been established? I mean, that is not advisable for more reasons than one, right?
Suppose you
Because
see what you want. The man is attractive,
yeah,
but
but
just have a
seeing what I want,
chemistry.
but he's already taken. Like I don't care. I see what I want. He's already taken. Like why am I gonna put myself there when there's people think that men are yes okay. So there's a statistics that men are short, but I don't believe that men are short. Good men are short. So why not find one of them out there and work with him and build him up to what you want him to be? Why you gonna take somebody's finished product? Like I don't agree with it because
I think
number one, Zafia,
yes.
if the man is married, what can he offer me? Like he cannot service me.
Of course, he
There's
must
no
sleep with you.
service
You can
there.
carry out and have a good chemistry. I mean, that is good service.
No, there's so many people. You're of the well. The world is of the opinion that men are short, and sometimes I tend to agree that
Yeah.
men are short to the point where people have to be sharing and going into other people's relationship. But I mean, that's
Like
not
sister
something
wives, we say sister wives is popular
that's not
on
something
TV.
well I'm too jealous, and that is not something, and a lot of women who are very territorial like myself, that is not something that is advisable,
You touched on some point. You mentioned about
because I
jealousy
mean
and
apart from biblically it is wrong,
uh-huh.
because people need to invest time to find their own person, because
Yes.
everybody has their own person out there. As the mother said, every all of them want
Stick a bush. Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but people don't want to
But
spend that time. People don't want to spend time searching and looking and waiting. Everybody wants it ready done. Everybody want go to the shop and them cake is ready. Nobody no want to put in the sugar and all of them ingredients, and nobody no want rub out nothing and bring it to that and then put the icing on the cake. Everybody just want to go and purchase. You know what I mean? Everybody just wants to go and purchase.
Yeah, let me tell you something. It is not easy, but the objective is that.
Nothing good is easy. Nothing,
Exactly.
and you know that. You know that as a lawyer, nothing good is nothing easy comes good. Nothing good comes easy. Nothing good comes easy for people who
So
study hard.
what about those women?
Why you never go buy a degree? Did you spend time studying, or did you go through the rigorous process of getting to where you wanted to go? It's the same thing, Zafia, when it comes to a relationship.
You know,
Like
honestly,
you
I
have to
never
call
go
you
through a
have to
rigorous
work,
process.
you have to put yourself
Hold
out there,
on.
you have to present yourself, you have to
You
make
know,
sure that you are what persons are looking for. You know, you have to be that person.
yes. But sometimes if there's an easier route, why take the hard route?
Love too much ready down and shortcut. Okay. But you
Yeah, I
know what?
mean,
Yeah, a lot of people survive by taking the shortcut, and a lot of people survive by getting things short-handedly. If
yes,
yeah, a lot
yes.
of people. But me not think it do them good later on in a life.
All right. So
I don't think it work out. A small percentage will work out, but I think in the long run it will not work out. Because I mean, if you get things from somebody shortcut, I think you lose it shortcut. You lose it just the same. That's just my view.
and I want to make it know sometimes you get some things by the long run, and you lose it. Not very short.
Well, I that too. Sometimes you get things honestly and lose it too. So you win
Yes,
some, you lose some. Like I
yes.
mean, you mentioned it's a complicated world.
It's a
It's a
complicated
complicated
world.
world.
So that's where we have to begin. And
Especially when
because
it comes to man and woman. It's a complicated world with those two kinds of beings.
let me tell you something. Women are territorial, as I mentioned, and jealous. I
Oh yeah.
think that men are even more jealous and territorial than women. But
Yeah.
I think that we as rational beings, we need to um, just pay attention to that level of jealousy and territorialism, so to speak, because many a time I honestly think it does not serve our interests. And, I can tell you from the perspective,
To be
let me
territorial
talk
and
about
jealous
myself.
doesn't serve our interest. Okay.
Let me talk about myself. Let me put myself in the pit. Let me put
All right.
myself in the stadium where everybody can fling spears at me. I have seen beautiful woman who me want already,
Yeah.
and she have a man.
Mm-hmm.
And because me want her, me never really say, boy, she have a man. The man is not my friend or whatsoever. And if I'm
Okay.
interested in her, I am going at her. And sometimes I don't get through, but sometimes I do get through. It happens.
Okay.
So those things are reality out there. Now, persons may say it because it wasn't mine from the beginning. You know what I mean? And I just aggressively got it. But I am aware as well. I can get a situation where, this beautiful girl, she'd have a man, me and she link up, and the chemistry was just wonderful, 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 wonderful. She beautiful, sex and everything, believe you me, was off the chain. And me and she link up and everything, and she left her man. And me and she roll for a while, and
Oh,
nose and skirt, In the long run, she born me too. You know what I
of
mean?
course.
And persons may look at me and say, oh, it's just a burner girl that. But after a while, she come around and she was so truthful to me and direct with me. And me and she still have that
Yeah.
chemistry and that connection. I'm saying to myself, say, you know, I really hurt in terms of what happened. But at the same time, I need to sort of put my sort of jealousy aside and my level of territorialism. Because sometimes certain things are happening and you don't know and it goes good. And if you find out by coincidence or the person tell you, why
Yeah.
can't you just put your jealousy aside? Because we are rational beings. Can't we measure? Because if this person that I am with is a good person, I am attracted to her. She's just nice in many other ways and everything. And some sort of slip up one, in terms of cheating. Why would I want to throw it all away? And I claim that I'm a rational being. I may go outside and meet somebody who will never cheat, but that person, I'm not attracted to them. They doesn't stir that chemistry inside of me and let me feel alive. We can't have
Because you
that
don't take time to
conversation.
build. You know, Zafia, I find that men love this automatic fire. They just want to take one look at you and everything starts to blaze. No man wants to, he doesn't want to start working with, two pieces of wood in the fire and then it can become a big blaze. And just want this big old fire. Like, okay. So you said earlier that, I heard you said that you went into, you saw the woman, she was
Yes.
already with somebody.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, why invest all of that time trying to get somebody who is already involved with somebody? Why never invest that time in trying to find somebody of your own?
Well, let me tell you something, because sometimes,
And that is why I said, that is why, sorry, I go back, I'm just going back to the point where man just like to, they just want to see something and it creates one big fire.
well,
Why not
well,
put two pieces of wood and blaze it yourself? You don't
relationship
want
is
this instant attraction.
relationship is fire. You know? It's all about attraction. You know?
Yeah, but
That's
you don't
what it
want
is.
this big blaze. One look on one this big blaze.
Well,
Why not? Why not work with something from a little? Why not work with a matchstick, and then
you know,
later on you can use it on like some dry bush,
yeah.
and then
But,
it turn into one big blaze.
all right. There are many single women out there. Some of them I am not attracted to. Yeah.
Okay.
And if she's single and I'm not attracted to, I think that
You prefer to
honestly,
go with the one who you're. So it's everything is all determined by attraction.
so what may I do with a woman I'm not attracted to her? How I go so? Eh? I'm a thing now rise
But, if
like
you
Mount
wait over time,
Everest.
you may just become attracted to her. If you work with her, them say beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Yeah, but some people out there where you said, I wish you seen him. You never see that yet. You see some people and you say you can't understand the mathematical balance, like what she seen him, what him seen her. But beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, and you may never know or see what that person sees in the person. But I think it takes work, and I think the most beautiful relationship is the ones who work from the ground up. It may not start out with he's so tall, dark, and handsome, or brown or handsome, or white or handsome, and she is so everything, the epitome of beauty.
Yes,
You're not gonna always find those two worlds collide.
that's
Sometimes you
true.
get somebody and you work with them, you work with what you get, and then you can't see the inner beauty. Well,
Yes.
for me, what counts is inner beauty. I mean, not care if you want to look like one gorilla. Once he has that inner beauty, that is all that matters to me.
Well,
I mean, gone are the days of I think when I was younger,
uh,
I was looking for, may not call it the complete package, but I was attracted, of course, to handsome and him look good and all of that. But I think as I grow older, I think I'm getting more, I know, acceptable. It's not that I wasn't acceptable. Is that the words of yeah?
yeah, we understand. And we can use any
Yeah,
word now in our freedom time that we use any word, acceptable, upsettable,
yeah,
anyone.
whatever. You know what I
Yes.
mean? But I find that as I'm getting older, like what matters is the heart. Even if he come in on one gorilla farm, me not care. Once his heart is beautiful, me go try not to see on the outside. Because I think it's looking on the outside is what deters a lot of us from finding true love.
Well, and then again, I hear you use the word love, because
It's
there
like me
seem to
believe
be
in
a
a
dichotomy. There seems
yeah,
to be a dichotomy, a divide between love and
love and
sexual
attraction,
attraction, you
right?
know. And many a times, sometimes we expect both to be together, because if you're in love with somebody, you must have that strong sexual attraction. And sometimes that there's a dichotomy where you really love a person and care a lot about them, but that fire in terms of sexual attraction is not there. Or you may have that fire in terms of sexual attraction where you just realize it. So that girl, I can't love her, I'm gonna go on for Sata. You know what I mean? So
Is
how
it
do
because we
people
have
live in
different
that sort of
definitions of
situation?
love?
Hmm?
Is it because we have different definitions of love, or we really don't know what love is? Or we're in search of something that we really don't know what we're looking for?
I think we all
Like me, I tell
know,
yourself to go look for something. It's like me, I tell yourself to go look for something, Zafia. You don't know what it is. So how
yeah,
is it that you're going to search and find it? You know what I mean?
yes. Well, you mentioned the point about, you know, um, you do not have to be attracted to someone, but as long as the person start to have that goodness
I
and that
think it's when you get
love.
to know them,
Hmm?
cook you show one man. You don't
Uh,
know that.
well, enough of them girls these days can't cook,
You're not looking for women who are very domesticated. Eh?
That's true, but enough of them women these days can't cook,
Quality.
all them Instagram generation, Gen Z and millennials,
And them just other things using
a different ball game, you know.
other food using what the place the name? What the food app. What you order when you order food?
Mm. Yeah, man. They have all sort of food thing, take
But
out and
eat,
go
blah
now.
blah 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 blah.
Yes.
All of things.
Just eat.
Yeah.
Uber eats,
Don't
yeah,
need
everybody, yeah, you get a girl now, turn on the video, I can't see you.
oh sorry.
Yeah,
My video the on, my things my video went on.
yes. Well, tell you what, I realized that your name is J Gorgeous. Yeah.
That's my name all over. Yeah, that's my name.
Yeah. So, and I
The
forget,
GOR for Gordon, and because
yeah.
I'm gorgeous, like I can't help it.
And the thing
It's
is
the
this,
name stemming from my last name, like I can't help it.
and the thing is this, I've been looking at you and say, oh, Jackie looks so gorgeous.
Oh,
And
thank
and
you.
and I did not even
That's a
compliment you on camera,
You
that's
never
so poor of
compliment
me.
me. So you
But,
see, so when a man
but hold
stare,
on, I supposed to say that even when I met you about 18, 19 years ago, you were
as so
just
long,
super
let me
gorgeous.
see.
It's like, wow, wow, wow.
Sometimes
And eh? A long time we meet.
you know what? I find that some
Yeah.
men, some men in our society, the men were not taught to compliment. You can't just compliment a woman just like that. You only compliment if you have an agenda. Other than that, you can't compliment, which is not good.
It's a waste of compliment.
It's always a compliment. Okay, all
Because
right.
most of the time when a man throws a compliment, him throw it out with an intent. It's like a man fling out a hook in I see. You know what I mean? He's expecting to get a fish on the hook. He's not gonna fling
Oh.
out something and expect to get none. So there's an
The DJ then
expectation.
the DJ the name in red for say old sound a really old dark for true.
No, I wouldn't take it so far with Beanie Man.
Oh.
Beanie Man thinks out on the next level, man. But Beanie Man think about the next level, But yeah, so it's just the psychology behind it. Mm-hmm.
You were
But
on
back
this
to the point,
point. You were on
yeah,
the point. What point were you on
yeah,
again?
we were on the point about a woman, I put the topic at the feet of a woman,
Oh, you
she
were asking if a
love,
woman, if it is okay for a woman to be with, if she has two men, if she
yes,
can be with the two men at the same time.
yes, and because she loved them, she liked them in different ways, they bring different things to the table, she loved them, yeah. Is that
Like I
okay?
said, there are many, many different answers. Like, I mean, like asking me, my point of view is going to differ from the general women's, the population's point of view. But
Yes.
personally speaking, I think that it's too problematic. It's too problematic.
Problematic for who? For the two man them or for her?
It's problematic right around. Because I mean, how can you be with two persons at the same time? Unless as a woman you feel like that one person doesn't have everything that you need and therefore the two combine as everything that you're looking for. But personally speaking, it's one at a time and one needs to work for me.
One needs to
Because
work.
it's too complicated. You're gonna start call different name when you're supposed to call Johnny, you call Peter. Like
Yeah.
it gets too complicated, and sometimes they don't know the jealous man that you're dealing with, and that is why you have a lot of women. I mean,
Murder.
I don't condone violence of any kind at all, but I find that men cannot deal with the possibility of getting help.
Yes,
You
yes. And
understand?
that's the point I'm making, that we as human beings who claim that we are the rational beings, we understand, we have evolved,
Remember,
way
yeah.
beyond the other animals. Why do we allow ourselves to just automatically be dropped? And I think that the reason being is that in our social interactions, this part of us have yet to evolve and develop, in terms of, we talk about it more in the society. Even young children growing up realize that, hey, we do have situations where persons are in relationship with other persons and so forth. And guess what? You're going to feel a way. That natural instinct is going to come out. But because you have been socialized and because you have been cultured in a particular way as rational beings, you know that, hey, I should not allow that side of me to come out, because it is just a part of how society operates. It's a natural part of how society operates. But we don't talk about it. So with many men, You know, when they find out that a woman is cheating, they may take a gun or a knife, they may kill her. Women do the same thing because we
And
just
women do the
lose
same thing.
ourselves.
But
So
who's going to but Zafia, who's going to really sit down and rationalize? Oh, you know what? We're in short supply, so it's good for people to share. Nobody's going to sit down and rationalize that.
persons do it, yes. Sister wives, don't you see them on TV? You want to talk about
But
that?
you not think jealousy I kill them? You not think
No,
say,
no, no,
you
no,
not
no, no. Not because
you not
those
think I'm
women,
upset
I
the next
think
month like that don't even get
those
along.
women are leading humanity. I honestly think so. And we need some man to start do that too. We need some man to start do that as well. And I ready to sign up for that. I ready to sign up for that.
So you would want to be a part of a crew of men sharing one woman.
No, 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 no. Me not say,
Oh, you
hold
want
on,
to
let me,
the
hold
other
on,
way.
hold on,
So why
hold
you
on.
can't deal with it?
What I'm
It's the
saying.
verse we're talking
No, what I'm
about.
saying, personally,
You
I do
can't deal
not,
with it.
hold
Zafia,
on.
hold on. You so quick to jump up and say, no, 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 no,
No,
no.
let me explain myself.
You can't deal with it the other way
Is a
around.
yes, or the answer is yes. Or about a yes.
Oh, yeah, really? You're just saying yes to appease me, but that's okay.
No, no, no,
But
no. I'm saying,
yes.
I would prefer to sort of have my woman by myself.
Oh, yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah. But so why you could be a part of
but,
the what they
if the
call them, what they
circumstance
be, if they
present
must sister
itself,
wife, they would be brother husbands.
yeah, if the circumstance presents itself where I find myself with a woman that I am caught up with, I love, yes, and I realize that, wow, she's with somebody else, and I still like her, then, I am willing to sort of have my rationality override my level of animal instinct in terms of just being jealous and just being hateful. I'm ready to accept that. And I think that as rational beings, this is what we are to promote in terms of our evolution. We just can't live like the lions and the tigers and bears and just tear up
Are
each
you
other.
really rational? Is it that you're really rational, or you just decide to settle because you within yourself feel like you can't do any better? Because I find that
no. Well,
don't you think that people share? Is it that they feel like they can't do any better? Is it that they feel
not
like
necessarily, because, all right, sometimes it may be a situation where you can't do any better because
you
you
can't
may
do any better?
find,
Or is
hold
it
on,
that you
hold
have
on.
low self-esteem? It could be low self-esteem too,
No.
Because
Hold on. I know what about sort of label and brand for people certain things. Because, hold on there. Hold on.
and you're
All right.
thinking about all
Suppose
rationalized.
somebody said, because, all right, me go out there and say, sure, you hear me? Um, you know, she have somebody else. I really like her. She's really nice in many ways. I really like her. I'm not gonna let go of her. But I find somebody else who is nice and committed to me. But this one, where I get trouble, I still like her for whatsoever, because those things happen in the mind, and you still want to hold on to that one same way. Yes, those sort of things. It's a complicated business. So am I say that, oh, me I go fight for her? No, me just say I can still hold on, me no ship an next man. I still can start to hold on upon somebody else and move forward, because the other person is not giving me what I'm feeling here. Because it is a feel thing, We must remember it's a feel thing.
So could you teach
It's
the
not a
other person
textbook
how to
thing.
give you what?
We start to write the paragraph and the headings. It's a
But that you
feel
think
thing.
people can learn? You think people can learn how to give a man what the man needs? Because you mentioned that you could be getting the one that you're willing to share with. She is you feel a certain way. It's like the fire blaze with her, while the one that you don't have to, she don't give any trouble. The one who behave herself, she the warm,
Yeah.
she clean and watch TV.
Yeah,
That's the
man.
one you're not really into. But could you teach her a thing or two so that she can give you that vibes that that's stimulating whatever that's inside of you, that's
Certain
keeping
things.
you attracted to this other person?
Well, let me tell you, certain things are teachable, but certain things
People
are
can
just.
learn.
Hold on.
Some
Certain things
things
are
are
teachable. Certain things are teachable, but certain things, it is actually what comes with a package. Because, like, for instance, certain people are attracted when they hear a particular sound in terms of the voice. You can't teach an expert partner to start a sound like somebody else. Some
so
attraction come
similar
by
as
the
everyone
looks,
unique.
the touch. Yes, just the gestures, and all of us have different gestures within us. Just the smell, all of these things have something
Yeah.
to how it really switch you on. So all of these things which the other person carry is pretty much natural with them, and you cannot teach somebody else that because it is not natural with them. And there is
Yes,
this
it's not natural, it's
natural
inborn.
connection instincts which does exist as human beings, which is not it cannot be transferred through learning and practicing. It is just, a part of your existence, so we have to pay attention to that as well. And with many of us, that part of the attraction is a big part how we go about being attracted. I can tell you, for me, my attraction is not textbook attraction. I've met many,
intellectual women that you're not
proper,
attracted
decent
to.
woman or whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that level of attraction is just not there. And I said to myself, why it is not? I questioned myself and I realized that attraction have a lot to do our social makeup and how we think, but also have to do with some unconscious and subconscious things which we are processing. Yes, we just come from the other person themselves. So yeah, and I think that's what blazes the fire. Because water don't blaze, you have to have oil, you know what I mean? So because natural water is not going to burn, you know what I mean? But
and as you mentioned, attraction is really wide and varied, and you get different things from different people, and it's something that you said. It's not something that is you can teach somebody. You can't teach somebody how to attract you, right?
yeah, true.
It has to be there from day one.
Exactly.
It has to be there from day one.
Yes.
So
yes.
And that is why, I think that is why as a people we need to get in touch with ourselves first. That is
We
what
have
I
to get
do.
in touch.
You
We
have to
have to
get
get in
in
touch
touch.
with
You have to
ourselves
know
first.
you, and you have to know what you want, or else you're not gonna know what attracts you. You have
Yes.
to know what it is that you're looking for too. So do you think that people should have a mental list? Because how is it that you're gonna? Do you think that people should have a mental list of what they're looking for in somebody?
I
A
think
mental
everybody
list.
have a mental list. I know, whether they write it down or not, I know everybody have a mental list. I have a
Okay.
mental list and know what I want. And
Okay.
many a time when I see it
You
just
know
come up on the
instantly
screen.
that is it.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
instantly.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. And I think it happens with everybody, have that list. The thing is this though, sometimes you fall short of your list because sometimes you meet somebody and you say, I get to meet this person and I really like this person and really I get close to this person. And to be honest, I never know I would be attracted to this person because this person
Exactly.
was not on the list in my mind.
Exactly.
So
So is it
that
that you
that
never
does
really know
happen
what
as
you want,
well.
or your list is by no means exhaustive? So even though you have that mental list, there are other things that you're not even aware of that is on your list. And if you see it in somebody, you're gonna recognize it. Yeah.
Yeah, bullseye, bullseye.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. You're going to recognize it. All right.
Right.
So back to the point in terms of many young women, 25, them reach 30, 35, 10 years. I have to say, them not nobody asleep with, not in bed. Nobody will start to just bring up that
That's a
other
secret pillar
side of them.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're saying they're waiting on the perfect person, so to speak. And my belief is that when persons wait for that long, waiting for the perfect person, I think that what you are doing is killing a natural side of you in terms of that. How should I put it? That part of you that's supposed to be alive, that come alive through sexual interaction and just being in a relationship, that part just take time dwindle and die if you don't sort of engage in it, especially during your more formative, more
Years.
blossoming years. I honestly believe that. And
Yeah, I agree.
so do you think it is true? Or a woman supposed to just say, I'm waiting a wonderful person, I'm 25, I'm 30, I've met them, I am not going to just, I see somebody that I like and want, but the person may be in another relationship and I'm not going to compromise my social standard. What do you think? How you think practically many young women should deal with
Approach
these?
that. You
Yes.
know what? It depends on what she's doing while she's waiting. Like, okay, if you say you are waiting, what are you? How is it that you're waiting? What are you doing while you're waiting? Like, if you are you developing yourself while you're waiting? Like, what are you doing? Because waiting is broad. You're not gonna just sit like you're sitting at the bus stop and waiting for a bus. You know the number bus that you need, so you know that you can all. It's okay to sit down and wait on your bus, but you can't treat that like when you're waiting for a partner. You can't just sit down and not do anything, or
Yeah.
else waiting is going to become. You're going to be very tormented.
Yeah.
Waiting is going to be like an
As
arduous task. Waiting
as
becomes a
as
task,
as,
and
as
then
Bob Marley said, I
Yeah.
don't want to wait in vain, you know?
And then you become very frustrated in waiting. And that is why some people, them just pick up some riffraff because them just sit down and wait. You understand? And that is why when people get frustrated, they get very irrational.
Yes. So
So
they
I
should
think
not
that if
wait.
you're, I don't think if you're waiting, you need to do something while you're waiting.
Like what?
Okay. All right.
You know,
You
in
can't
between
pray while you
dating,
wait.
in between
Okay. All
dating, like
right.
what?
Apart from that, develop yourself, Zafia. Like, find something to do with yourself. Do some personal development, something. Do something. You can't just sit down so.
You
Because you know
mean
what?
when you say you
I
can't
never
just sit down,
think,
so you're going out there and you're pursuing an activity that will get someone in your life. That when you say that's what you mean?
you could do that too. You could get engaged in a number of activities while you wait. But
Yeah.
it cannot be that you just sit down and you don't know if you're going or you're coming. To me,
Yes.
okay, socialize, get engaged in activities,
Yes.
go to work. There's people in the workplace, there's people at church,
Yes.
there's people, you have people, there are people all around. So
Yes.
get out there, and while you're doing that, I think that you're developing yourself
Yes.
because
Yes.
you're
Go
waiting.
out
Okay,
there and pursue.
everybody has a list of things. Are you the list? What about you? Are you what the list that you have? Are you any of those things? And if you're not, while you're waiting, why you don't try and get some of those things on the list that you're waiting for? But
What
I
do you
don't
mean?
think people just sit around and wait. Okay, Zafe, you want somebody who has this and that.
Yes.
Okay, all right, I want one man with one car, I want one man who has a certain, he's very ambitious, he has a certain level of intelligence or intellect or
Mhm.
education.
Yes.
Am I going to get myself up to par so that when he comes, we're the perfect match and not a mismatch?
Okay. No,
So I
but that's a point. But that's a point I'm making, that many young professional independent women have achieved all of that already. They don't need to work on
well,
nothing else. Them have like PhDs, and them have them job, them house, them car, them have them connections,
okay.
them status.
You know, all right. And the reason
You
is
know.
okay. Let me tell you why the wait. Let me tell you why the waiting game seems to be so long for them. Is
Yeah.
because sometimes you're at that level and you're really looking for somebody who is at that level. Sometimes you just have to. I'm not saying you need to lower your standards, but sometimes you need to take some of the list from off your expectations
And work with a
because
pool
there are
boy.
men out there who can complement you. But if you're one doctor, you're gonna look for one doctor when already the pool up there is so small. It is unlikely that you're going to find somebody that level. So you probably just need to, I mean, not as I mentioned, not settle or go
Yeah.
way below your standards, but just take off some of the something, take some things from off your list.
So do you think the doctor can marry and settle with a pool boy?
Yes,
You
I
think that
think
is
so.
okay?
Yes, because people, you don't always connect. You can connect. The important thing, I'm not, mental connectivity is different from intellectual connectivity. And
Yeah.
if it is that I am a lawyer and we can get the gardener and we can connect mentally, we can have good conversation, it make me laugh, me make him laugh, blah, 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 then of course, why not?
So you are saying that many of these social rules to say that many of these independent women, she reach a level, the highest level, she's the head of the CEO of the company, or she's PhD, doctor, whatsoever. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is okay for her to seemingly drop her social standard and pick up somebody like a pool boy or a gardener
But
that she
why
mentally
you call it
connect
up
with.
in our social standards? Why you don't think the pool boy is able to connect with her socially on her level? She
No,
don't develop our social standards.
no,
So the CEO,
personally,
she can
personally,
manage the drive of the organization, of course.
No, personally, I think I don't see anything wrong with it. Personally, I see nothing wrong with it.
I
But
don't see
I
anything
know,
wrong
hold
with it.
on, I know the social pressure. Like, how should I
Yeah.
put it? Just give me some top woman, so to speak. If certain top woman, you hear she's married. If you hear the minister,
Of
if you hear
finance.
Minister Patty
Of,
Patel over here married our pool boy, so to speak.
yeah.
I know she's going to lose our next election. People are going to say, how if you marry the pool boy and MP, Home Office Minister, that social pressure that will come down on her,
Yeah.
and because she's aware of that
Oh,
social
that's what
pressure,
you mean.
she will
Okay.
never do it, even when she have that mental connection, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. And that is why
So,
you find these people who are at this level, They do it, but they hide behind closed doors. So it's okay not to be in the public with that person because, as I mentioned, she's going to come under social pressures. But at the end of the day, it's okay for when 12 o'clock comes. It's okay for me and him to get together.
All right. So if we keep it on the down low, according to RK.
Yeah, keep it on the down low, keep it private. But
And
I would not, personally speaking, I would not allow anybody to pressure me into thinking that, I mean, I need to get somebody who is up there because sometimes you and those persons really don't,
mentally
there's,
connect.
yeah, you don't connect.
Yes,
There's no, you don't really vibe. There's
yes,
actually no connection.
yes.
So I
I-
am going for who I am connected with. Me not care. Him could have deliver newspaper. Him could have the pool boy, as I mentioned, or the ordinary man on the street.
yes. You know,
Why can't I take him and bring him up a certain level? Like bring him 2 levels up. You know what I mean?
take the person as they are.
I take them as they are because
Let
that
me
is
tell you
what I'm
something.
trying
I
for.
was talking to one of my good friend the other day, and she said she know this doctor, work at Kingston Public Hospital, and this doctor, he got married to one of the janitors who
Yeah,
who clean the hospital,
of course.
and
Yeah,
you know they're married and they have children and everything, and they're married for many years now. And you know, because he's like a top doctor, so to speak, a lot of person was saying that what is going on, Dove, and ambition, why you know what I mean? So there was this social pressure. And this
exactly.
man is saying that, you know, it is the best thing, the best decision that he has made in his life. Him say when him leave work, him can't wait for go home. He just want to
Of
rush and go
course,
home to his wife because it's like when he go home to her, it's like he's in heaven. You
of
understand?
course. I can
And
imagine.
because of many of these social pressures, many
Yeah,
persons do not get to connect with heaven because there are many doctors and nurses on the block and lawyers that he can get married to.
of
But
course.
there is this mental connection apparently between these two
Yeah.
people,
And how
and
she
it
makes him
is
feel.
his
So
heaven.
he's not looking
Yes,
at position, he's looking at, I mean, the person, his soul match.
yes, 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 yes. So all of these things are just there in relationships, you know.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example, but I think I was telling you a story about, you know, I know this woman, I met this woman, Christian woman in our church and everything, and she looked good, really looked good. You know, she looked like she in her 30s. And but you know, because she and I are friends, you know, over time I realized that she's much older. She's almost like 50, you know,
Yeah.
and but
She must be taking really good care of herself, huh?
yeah, apparently, obviously she take good care of her. She
There you
always
go. There you
exercise
go.
and thing
Of
and thing
course.
and thing, you know.
No
Um,
stress. No man stress.
no man stress. You know, I think I honestly, since I've met her, I think she's full of stress. And better, she did have man stress. I replaced that loneliness stress.
Whatever stress.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, so but you know, I see her, and personally, you know, I was attracted to her. She and I became friends and whatsoever. And at the time I was in transition, you know, transition. And because I know her as a friend and I like her, I
Yeah.
was so damn fool. Go tell her the truth. She asked me about having someone. I said, well, I have someone, but it's breaking up, nothing, which is the truth. Yes.
Yeah.
But and I tell her that truth. Anyway,
Yeah.
one day me and she link up, you know, and we're talking, yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know, she said to me
Yeah.
that um nobody ever invited her out before. A couple was talking about relationship, and
Yeah.
she said to me, "Come to think of it, you know, nobody ever invited me out before." And you know,
Hmm.
when she said that to me, I was like, "Nobody ever invited you out
Yeah, you
before."
must be really, really shocked
You know,
at that age.
I didn't know
You're
what she
thinking
mean.
that,
I didn't know what she mean. But
yeah.
after talking and talking, she mentioned that she has never gone out on a date with a man before. No, this woman, she has gone to university. She has traveled
She has never
abroad.
gone, oh, you mean, what you mean gone? Like she has never gone for like coffee or tea, or she has never dated, she has never been in a relationship. Like,
She has
what?
never gone for like coffee or tea
So she
or
has
like
never been out with a male before.
she has never been out with a male
Not
before
date,
on that sort of thing we
like
call
a
formal
social
date,
date.
like courting.
Yeah.
She has
Yeah.
never been in that sort of situation, much less have intercourse. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So she has
okay.
never been out like somebody said, I like you. Let us go and watch some movie. She has never
Yeah.
been on that sort of encounter before. And she has
Yeah.
gone
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
university, she has traveled abroad. You know, I find it very, very puzzling. And she's an intelligent and nice woman. And you know,
Mhm.
I said, what? But she's in her church, and maybe she's just maybe our world is small.
Or
She
church
works,
principles.
but
Maybe there
anyway,
are Christian disciplines.
come
Maybe the
again.
Christian disciplines that's inculcated inside of her has caused her to be holding on, waiting on the right person.
I think Christ would have want that. I mean, sometimes them people that Christ think too far.
Oh, I hear you. I see.
Anyway, it's not for me to sort of judge. Anyway,
Exactly.
me and she go out and thing, invite her out on a date. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
to be honest, I know she like me because every time she meet me, she just
Yeah.
light up. You know what I mean? If we're in a crowded, she really like my presence. She enjoy my presence. I do enjoy her presence. But I think something
Mm-hmm.
is operating in the psychology of her head that, you know, because I tell her the truth that I had somebody, which as I said, I was in transition because I just
Yeah.
want to tell her the truth because I really like her. I see the need to do the right thing in terms of telling her the truth. Anyway, go so boom, I will go up on a date and you go up on a date. Somehow I held on to her hand because we were like sitting down. So, it's sort of, you know, um, nicely, I hold on to her hand, touching her hand.
Yeah.
And she flash off my hand like this.
Yeah.
I said, no, 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 no. You're with somebody.
Okay.
You know, I was I was like, damn, what is happening here? No, no, the thing is this. No, the thing is this. As I said, she's almost 50. She has never been with anyone whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
How? Because I don't know what she's waiting on. I hope somebody come her way. I mean her the best. If I see someone that she may be interested in, I would recommend her too. But
Recommend her.
I don't
So are
know
you
how to, you know, and I certainly, well, I realize that she's not for me. You know what I mean? But I would
yeah?
certainly, because I like to see when people happy,
Is
and
it
I
you
know that.
realize she's not for you because you never get the opportunity to hold her hand? Like you realize she's not for you. Why? Why you realize she's not for you? Because what you were too honest?
Not me, because
Because you
right
told her you
now,
have somebody?
no, no, no. I think that if I go to her now
Or
and tell
you're
her the
thinking that if
truth,
you went in with a lie, you would have gotten your way a little bit if you went in with a lie. And that is
no
why you
man,
feel like women
if we go in with a lie, I'm a good man. If we go
treat
in with a lie, me
conflict,
I tell you, man.
honesty.
No man, if I went in with a lie, that would have been an easy kill. Easy kill. Easy
Oh,
kill.
I
Easy
see.
kill. You know?
Ooh.
And so this is how the truth just throw me off track, you know what I mean? Um, but as I said, I really care for her. If I see anybody, a man that is, available,
You're just gonna make the
I
recommendation.
would make the recommendation and try and make the connection.
I
The thing is this though, I think that honestly, because she has not dated over
yeah.
over her best years,
And
the,
it could be culture too. Culture has a lot to do with um some people they don't in their culture, it's not like us, where people are date from them idea them need. In some
Mhm.
cultures, people you don't go out on a date probably until a certain time in your life.
Which culture that? I mean, I talk some back a wall place down in Saudi Arabia
So you
where
really have some culture where people don't just go out and date. They don't date around. They don't go out with men like that. You have cultures like that. You
where in
have
the
people.
West, where in the West does
No,
that
you
look
have
like?
people. No, you have people who don't date. Or you have people who their parents set up. I mean, arranged marriages for them. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I know somebody who's like that. Yeah, she has never met the man, and the parents they met with the man. They gave him the okay, and he came down, and they got married.
Yes,
So yeah,
but
and then she was like in her 20s.
exactly, and that's good,
She was in
and
her
that's
late
good.
20s.
But this case that I'm
And
talking
that is why
about
I
is a
say
case of
culture, because in our culture, it don't work like that.
yes, yes. I think persons should free up themselves. It's a free up time. Persons have to just, well, every time have been a free up time. I think many persons have taken on certain standards too seriously, and it has become like an
Mhm.
obstacle in terms of they living their lives. Because every day the sun rise, and every day what God
So
sent to us.
you think that women, because you mentioned free up, you think that women should free up themselves because
Thing I jam up. All right. Oh, I like gone. Oh, you're still
You
there.
know, you
All
didn't
right.
get frozen though. You know, you were
Yeah.
frozen for a while.
Yes. Freeze up. Back on track.
You know, you were frozen for a while, right? Yeah, you were
Yes.
frozen for a little while. But I'm saying that, do you think that women shouldn't, you mentioned women should be a little bit free up because we live in a free up time. So you think that people should kind of drop their standards a bit, so to speak, because we're living in a free up time?
I don't think persons should drop standards.
Because
I
to me,
think
even though she's near 50 and she has never had a man, that's her. She has set she has set a high standard.
that standard is too high, uh, honestly. And the reason why
Mhm.
I say that, and the reason why I say that the standard is too high is
Yeah,
that when you go on dating, there's an art to dating, There is an art in terms of being in a relationship that when you do it over and over, you get better at the art, so to speak.
well,
And when you reach certain age and you have not learned that art, and when you step in a relationship, you may have
yeah.
certain expectations because normally when you reach 50, you start to know the ups and downs of relationship. So
Mhm.
any little thing you can start to bounce it off
And
because you're
and most
accustomed
times,
to
by
it.
the time you reach 52, you're already in a one stable foundational relationship. By the time for most persons, that's the expectation. Is that
Yes,
by the time you reach 50, I mean, you're well seasoned already in your relationship. Children are growing, or they have grown and near university.
yes.
Preparing for college, and she is just probably still at that starting point.
Yeah, that starting point, if somebody says something to you or throw you off, it may just
Yeah,
miss because you haven't learned the art of relationship,
yeah,
And I think that if she had been in
yeah.
relationship over the years, it would have been easier for her to get started. Yes, because
That's
maybe
true.
she still have those anxieties and fears and just think that who is coming is
Yeah,
going to be just so perfect. And as we say,
yeah,
relationships are complicated, and you just have to learn it with time and age and get better at it like you learn anything
true.
else. And when you start to hold out for so long, to say that you're holding to a standard, I think that you're depriving yourself of that art in terms of becoming better at the
That's
art of
true.
mastering intimate relationships to be good at it. Because I think you have to master the art to be good at it. If you haven't mastered the art, then the relationships would fail. It's
That's
difficult for you to
true.
start new relationships. It's even more difficult for you to
And
maintain
also, you mentioned mastering the art. You're frozen again.
relationships.
I want my car freeze up so today. Now because today is Sunday, we're not supposed to freeze up like that.
Not that necessarily, you're less supposed to step on the internet, but hey. Yes, back
You
on
know,
track.
we freeze up a couple times. Yeah, back
Yes,
on track.
back on track.
You mentioned the art of dating.
Yes.
Also, using that scenario, also, I think that sometimes when you're going to a relationship early and then
Yeah.
that relationship ends, like for example, me went
Mhm.
into a relationship very early, and then when it ended in my
Hold on.
late,
Pause for 1 second. I
hold
will
on,
ask you a
can you just
question
let me
about.
finish my point? No,
Just
no,
pause
hold
one
on. Let me
second for me. Pause 1 second. 1 second. Early. What you consider to be early in terms of relationship? Because
early, like teenager early, like like 18,
okay.
19. That's early, Zafia.
Oh,
That's when you basically get your first little boyfriend,
so you
That's
said
when
you
you
started a
first
serious relationship early.
it was serious because it went to marriage. So yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so my story is all right. In using that scenario about what you mentioned um the last point, I can't remember. Anyway, the latest scenario you talked about,
About the lady I was talking about, the art.
the art of dating. Yes,
Yes.
that's the one I want to talk about. Sometimes people, when you're going to a relationship early and then when it ended and you're back on the dating scene, you're almost it's almost crippling because you're really, people would expect that you would have mastered the art of dating from 18, 19, 20. Here you are at 30. You're back in the dating world, you still don't know what to do. It's almost like you have a disability trying to date.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So sometimes too, when you have persons who later on the relationship break up at 50, sometimes some relationships, I see people getting divorced at 60. And I'm like, so after this, what? So
Bill,
what they want to do?
Bill
What's
Gates
the
and Melinda
plan?
Gates. You thought Bill and Melinda, call
Exactly.
them
So
name,
there's
man.
none of that.
These are
And
the,
I'm sure that these people want to be alone.
we're gonna drop the big name, Bill and Melinda Gates. Yes, everybody know what a divorce, eh? That one that can't be secret. At 60
And
or
many
60.
other couples, like people divorcing at 50. And I'm like, what is sense? We better get divorced. Me not say if you stay in something, if if there is abuse or some things that you can't deal with. But I'm saying make it work.
Yeah, yes, yes. Well, I
But
just,
anyway, the art of dating is sometimes I'm saying you have people, and maybe that wasn't her case, the scenario you gave, but sometimes people at an advanced, mature age, they really don't know how to date
yes,
because they've never really spent time in the dating world. You know what I mean? They've never
yes,
spent time there. So
yes.
getting back there, it's kind of like you're a handicap.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
it's a tricky game.
That's
It's a
right.
tricky game. Not everybody can master the art because, as I mentioned, if you do it, the more you do it, it's like maths or any other activity. The more you do it, is the better you become at it.
So,
But
so
not
you thought,
everybody.
so
Not
the example with like Jennifer Lopez and those girls who just
them
jump out
supposed
and
to have a
marry, jump out.
PhD in
Them girl, they
dating.
never, them, you know them girl, you know, I salute Jennifer. Jennifer Lopez. She's beautiful. She's 50. You know, she's a superstar. I really like her. You know, and I don't see her as a. I don't. You know, people may say, "Oh, she's a dog because she did." I see her as a phenomenal trend-setting woman because she knows what she wants and she know what worked for her. Sometimes she married. Oh, she have been to many marriages, but many a times you hear that she's touring with her band and she's with her 20-year-old drum player and
Mm.
she knows what keeps her going because for her to be on stage night after night performing, she need her lift, you know, and she's going after it in a very, very bold way. And I think that persons can take a cue from those sort of women who are bold enough in society. I think those are the persons who are, if how should I put it, pushing the boundaries in terms of human evolution, you know,
Oh,
to
really?
realize that we need to sort of lower these so-called standards and get
Okay.
more reasonable in terms of how we go about in terms of relationship, because relationship is an integral part of our health, in terms of our well-being, how long we live, quality of life, and
True.
many of these so-called rules that we get tied up in, let
Yeah.
it go, let it go. Find a way that works for you
There you
and
go.
work with it. So all those beautiful young women out there and those men who have big gold ring about them on them finger and in our work, fling away. You know, find a formula that work. Everybody may say Zafia not no standard because maybe not a gold ring on him finger and whatsoever. But believe you me, I can tell you from a meditational standpoint, you know what I mean? When my life has been good because I have been in, yeah, I've been burning up some relationships. I've been jumping in some real chemical fires that really serve me well. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've met hot girls that burn me for sure, but I don't regret it. And I am telling persons my story because it is a good ride. Don't make jealousy override you. Don't make territorialism override you
Yeah.
because you know some of the Jamaican DJs say a fewy girl. If I'm a few girl, a fewy girl. If we like her more now, mere some woman I say a fewy man. That sort of liberal sort of thinking, we need to sort of bring it out as rational beings to realize that that is the truest form of society because sometimes it is happening and you don't know. So just keep it in your head to say, if it happened, I have to just live with it because it is just a reality. The so-called strict about man and woman together and nobody. And also it go. Look, you hear about Matt Hancock, the minister here will resign a couple of weeks, Minister of Health.
Yeah, but I mean,
No,
but
I'm
don't.
asking you if you heard about Matt Hancock. Did you heard of him in
No.
UK? Let me tell you a story. Well, he is the Minister of Health in charge of the coronavirus program running and everything. He's a married man with children, I'm yard. And guess what happened? A few weeks ago, I don't know, apparently he is with one of his director. She's a female that work in his ministry. Yes. And apparently them find a videotape in there some meeting house, guest house with her. Apparently come out a meeting and they couldn't even wait. and him have her up, a squeeze up bottom and a suck out tongue and beer things are going. Well, him lose him job because the public in Britain said that it is inappropriate because she's a married woman, we are going to her husband, and him a married man, we are going to him wife,
His
and for
wife,
them,
right.
and then again, coronavirus is supposed to social distance. You're supposed to, you know what I mean? And him have woman, you know what I mean? And they investigated and show how many times she get passed for come in office. Everybody think it was professional work, you know what I mean? These
Yeah.
things do happen in the society. It is real, even when coronavirus are go around. I'm sure that woman put on her mask and go and kiss her husband. And she kiss Matt Hancock, you know, and Matt Hancock kiss her and I go home to feel wife same way, you know. This reality that we live in, it is very, very tough. So we need to evolve and realize that these things happen. So these so-called rules and standards that we're holding on, sometimes they're not all that true. We should have standards, but we should be
That is
flexible
what I
in
was,
terms of
yes,
our
that
mindset.
is the point I wanted to get to that. And even, yeah, even you're talking about, even though we're evolving, we should still remember to uphold the principle of monogamy.
One
Because,
name so. One name, I never hear that word there yet. One name so.
okay, all right, too bad. Google it. Everybody, Google it, right? Because I believe that if people, I mean, a one-on-one man and woman relationship, I mean, you're in a relationship, you must keep it going. And even if it is that you feel like you need to look out the window or look out the door, you need to remember the times. You need to remember that those initial ingredients that brought you guys together, and keep buying those ingredients to sustain and maintain that relationship.
Yes. I honestly believe that
And
when
if
there,
the love departs a little, stay until the love comes back.
yes, yes. Many a times,
And we wouldn't be having so much trouble in a society, as I feel like, seriously.
yeah, many a times monogamy work when there is a proper chemistry and mental bonding between both persons.
Yeah, I
That's when
agree.
monogamy works best. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think the working of monogamy is not just persons having the mindset for it. Because if you just have the mindset for it, and there is there is not this strong bonding between
Yeah.
both persons in terms of just the fire between them. Like I'll talk about that doctor and his
Yeah.
and his janitorial wife, so to speak. There's this fire between them. That relationship can be monogamous. But many a times, why many relationships are not monogamous, because a man or a woman in a relationship, many women they're married, but the married life is just
Men and women. So just
it
many,
just a
many
go,
people
you
get
know. And
married, yeah,
if honestly she go
because
outside,
it takes two.
yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
let us use Matt Hancock as an example. Maybe at his home, you know, him and his wife don't really have that fiery connection. And maybe the same thing with the woman that he's with.
Yeah.
That director woman, she and her husband don't have that fire. But she and him have that fire. And that's why, you know, and maybe if they divorce from who they're with now and married, that relationship will work because they just have that connection.
And or
So
as well as it may not even work,
it
because
may not even work and
yeah,
it may work. So
and it may work. So
yeah, it's a complicated business.
yeah,
It's a complicated
it's
business.
just risky, Marriage is kind of it's a risk that you take.
Exactly. So just take the risk, you know, take
Yeah.
the risk. Because life is a risk. You have to go out on the
That's
road
true.
every day. Car can lick you down. You
That's
know,
true. Yeah.
asteroid can drop out of the space and kill you. I mean, so they have to just risk it, you know what I mean? So they have to just risk it. As I say, risk it, forget the biscuit.
All right.
Yeah. Which other point before we close out, before time run out?
And then need another point, because we don't want to use up all the points, and then later on we're going back in circles.
We're not going back in a circle, like we have enough things to chat about. But we have all the points.
No,
Like,
enough
you know,
things.
hold on. You know, so we have a topic to talk about how me and you become besties. And I want to start interested in it because it sort of it dovetails off of this sort of conversation that we're having now. You know, in terms of back in the day. Yes, lovely talking. We have our thing. We did it. Give me a high five. Give me a high five. Give me a high five. We did
It's
it.
never hard. It was seamless.
There we go. Let's go get the first step. We did it. We did it.
Yeah.
As what's her name? We just legally black. What's her name?
What's her name?
Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, you know, when she graduated from law school, she said, "We did it," with a little dog. We did it. So So we did it, Bestie. We did it. Hello, everybody. This is Bestie on the block, you know, and my friend Jacqueline. Oh my gosh, she's my bestie, you know. Yeah, Besties Zaph and Jackie. Yes. Them think they would have locked on people. And people are driving around and link up see you.
No, they can't lock on nobody, no matter what. No matter what.
Yeah, so just free up yourself. Free up. Alright. Free up. Yeah, man. Free up yourself. Free up, man. Free up. Anyway, my darling, so
Take care. Alright, bye.
watch some movie.